such brutal rejection here on the Bitcoin weekly chart. You can see this candle playing out right now, but I have news for you. It was never supposed to be easy. And the move that's happening right now, we saw in the previous 2 cycles right around this moment. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in, and let's talk about it. This is a dangerous time, and I'm going to explain why. I just said it's simple. They don't want Bitcoin breaking out yet, and that is what I really think is happening right now. I think we really need to get through elections next week. We are days away, which is crazy. But this move right here, I'm going to explain first why it's dangerous, but then we're going to look at previous cycles. The reason why this is dangerous, and I bet you this has happened in previous cycles at this moment, it's dangerous because this looks iffy to a lot of people. It looks scary to a lot of people. Even you zoom out and you bring in last cycle data, a lot of people are thinking this is like a triple top. The resistance is too big. And there may be people that are turning bearish right now, and you might be one of them. I think that is incredibly dangerous. Because if we start studying previous cycles, and by the way, we're going to dig into the charts on the daily to really look at the move that's happening right now. But if you very simply go to previous cycles on the same exact weekly chart, and you all know the data is coming together from so many different angles. This is just one. But this yellow line, this is an all-time high area of struggle last cycle. And I think I might have briefly mentioned it in yesterday's video. You see this resistance here, 2 weekly candles with a lot of volatility, a lot of resistance before the breakout. And then you go to the cycle before that, all the way back here. And this was back in 2017. Look at the rejection at this all-time high area. We're talking about 34% to the downside to revisit the 20-week moving average. Imagine the fear in these 3 weeks of just down. These are 3 weekly candles. Everybody's waiting for Bitcoin to break all-time high, and Bitcoin actually falls 30+% to the downside. This is why it's dangerous. People getting shaken out, people getting bearish. It's a double top on the macro. Get out while you can. And this was the last time that Bitcoin ever traded below $1,000. And then it took off. And we are where we are right now. Right now, we are still early. Right now, we're at the very similar time of the cycles, if you look at the cycles. And right now, for the first cycle ever, we have demand for Bitcoin, demand for crypto, institutional adoption, record-breaking inflows, even when you compare it to when the gold ETF came on board, Bitcoin destroying those numbers. We are in that environment now. So how do you think this is going to play out? Yeah, maybe we get downside, right? Maybe this is immediate rejection on the weekly and we actually do start consolidating. But do you really think that the crypto higher highs, the Bitcoin cycles of higher highs and higher lows, the demand for Bitcoin, do you really think it's over? Or do you think it's more just beginning? I tend to think it's more just beginning. And I have the patience and the plan to wait to see what happens. Now, just to remind you all the things that we're talking about right here and all of the things that I just mentioned on the chart, notice these areas are almost exactly in line with where we are right now post Bitcoin halving. So these yellow lines are Bitcoin halvings. We are in this new cycle. Zoom out on the charts, but we can zoom in. We can zoom in and look at the chart. This is Bitcoin. And this is a big deal in crypto, I think, for traders, for even long-term investors. We get hung up on the short term because we're all on X or watching YouTube videos or just opening up TradingView charts and we're looking at price and we see price down, right? And we're zoomed in and we see red candles. But you notice that zoomed out picture of Bitcoin paints an entirely different picture. So here we are though, we're entering this resistance area for Bitcoin. It is of no surprise. And not only everything we just talked about, I did this video, have to be careful in the hot zone. And we were discussing in that video, Bitcoin entering the hot zone. Check it out real quick. And right now, as we make our way into this entire area of resistance, 74,000, right now this upper trend line is right around 67,000. That whole area that's where we are. We're in that hot zone. And look at how Bitcoin is interacting. It's of no surprise. I mean, we needed to kind of break out of this area. We tested that trend line. We broke to the upper trend line. We're throwing back. It's going to be volatile. And in the volatility, what we should really be looking for is structure now. And I never know. And over the years, I always say this when we get some type of breakout to a key area. What's the structure going to look like now? Are we going to kind of fall into some type of symmetrical triangle of consolidation? Is it going to be some type of falling wedge? What is it going to look like? That's what I'm watching right now in this daily chart. But one thing I can tell you, put aside all of the zoomed out, put aside where we are in cycles and how critical of a time this is, Bitcoin getting ready to potentially explode into the parabolic bull cycle, put it all aside. And if you just study the technical analysis of it, everything is just common. It's so ordinary, the moves that we're getting right now. We're breaking through the upper trend line of this falling broadening wedge, which we've been tracking. We're waiting on the potential for the throwback to the trend line, upper trend line, just below 67,000. I know I talked about in yesterday's video. And we're looking for support at the 20-day. Bitcoin has not even tested the 20-day. Maybe it will. Maybe it will today. 68,200 or so. Maybe we fall through it. And we're testing these moving averages. Let's let the move play out. And the other thing that I am tracking, it's not off topic. I think it's so relevant, but I am looking at the US dollar currency index. Now, we know that that's been pumping, right? And especially when we have this time frame now of elections coming to an end, just days away, I am incredibly intrigued with this chart. How is this going to play out? We have the US dollar making a move to the upside on this daily. We're waiting to see, is there going to be continuation, or is it going to be a swing high and we go lower now? If we go lower, this is very good for Bitcoin and risk on assets. What I'm watching is this. We have overbought on this daily. And if you look at the previous times we were overbought on this daily chart, look what happened on the US dollar. We started falling. One of the first indicators, a leading indicator, would be lower highs on the momentum oscillators. Lower highs on the momentum oscillators. Are we going to start seeing this kind of hint on the US dollar charts? Because guess what? If this starts falling, if elections are over, you zoom out and we might be right on time, everybody. So yes, there can be downside. We know what short-term support looks like. If we start capitulating through it all, we'll talk about more macro support areas. But if you just zoom out on a Bitcoin chart, if you zoom out on the cycles, I know this is a messy one. It's a messy chart. But to me, it just makes sense. So these are my thoughts. It's the update for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I really appreciate you. I'm going to put a link below. I've been doing some fun content. It's been actually really fun doing some content on Substack. So if you're not on Substack, it's free right now. I have a free newsletter. Everything I'm posting right now is free. I don't know how long that will last because I'm starting to put some good amount of time into it, but it's fun creating the content over there. So if you like kind of audio type of newsletters, delivered right to your email, sometimes video. I did a video last night. Go subscribe over on Substack. And I just appreciate your support as I continue to try and just build out all of this content. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.